So this is it, the brand new MacBook Pro 16. It's not the one with the M1 Max. This is the one with the M1 Pro, which I feel like a lot of people are going to gravitate towards just because the price point is better. But I want to clarify a few things to make your life a lot easier when you're looking at these devices. No matter if you buy the M1 Pro or the M1 Max on the 16-inch model, you're getting a 10-core CPU, no matter what. The only thing that truly changes is the GPU core count. If you buy the M1 Pro, you automatically get it with a 16-core GPU. As soon as you move up to 24 cores, it automatically becomes the M1 Max. And above that, the best one has 32-core GPU. Think of this as like NVIDIA's lineup, the RTX 3060, 3070, and 3080. This is Apple's version of that. Now, the brand new MacBook 16 is a little bit heavier than the previous one. If you get the one with the M1 Pro, it weighs about 4.7 pounds. As soon as you move up to the M1 Max, it gets bumped up to 4.8 pounds. It's definitely heavier than the Intel Mac that we previously used before, but it's not like significantly heavier, but you can feel it when it's in the hand. Inside the box, you have your paperwork and black Apple stickers. I don't think I've seen black Apple stickers before. You know what? Just like I do in my other videos, if you want these stickers, I will snail mail these guys out to you. Just let me know in the comment section down below. You have the big 140 watt charger. This comes exclusively with the MacBook Pro 16. If you buy the 14-inch version, you can only get it up to a 97 watt-hour charger. Now, there have been a few people out there who are complaining about the charger size, saying it's way too big. Like, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Like, have you ever used a gaming laptop? Because this is like amazing, at least to me, right? Because like most of the stuff I use is on the PC side, and they have charging bricks that look like this. What would you rather have? A 140 watt charging brick or a 230 watt charging brick? Even the PC charging bricks that are 135 watts are still bigger than this. So to me, this is awesome. This year, Apple also includes MagSafe. This is the actual cable. It's nicely braided. If you've seen or touched the braided cable that comes with the M1 iMacs, you'll have an idea of what the cable feels like. On the bottom is USB Type-C, and then on the other side, you have the MagSafe. I'm so glad they brought this back. There's even a little light indicator so that when it's connected, it will light up green. But like the fact that you can just like take this out and then attach a regular USB Type-C cable to the charging brick is awesome, because this way you can like charge the laptop using Thunderbolt, but then also charge your other devices. Just note though, if you want to use fast charging, you have to use the MagSafe connector. It will not work with regular USB Type-C because USB Type-C, or Thunderbolt rather, only supports up to 100 watt charging. Oh my God, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Like, look at this. It brings back memories. Like, this reminds me of the MacBook Pro from like 10 years ago. It has a chunkier design, but it feels like it can get stuff done. You have so many ports to utilize. I'm glad Apple went in the reverse direction and brought the ports back, because taking them away was just a bad move. But man, look at these feet to keep them off the desk. You know, you have screws that are easily accessible so you can get in. You have venting on the sides to keep this thing cool, and even on the back. And you have so many more ports. Like on the left-hand side, you have your MagSafe connector. You have 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. You have your headphone jack, which has its own special type of hardware, so you can like use higher fidelity headphones to get better audio. And then on the other side, you have HDMI. Unfortunately, this is only HDMI 2.0. That means you can't hook up a high refresh display. You're kind of stuck at 60 hertz. You have another Thunderbolt 4 port, and then you have an SDXC SD card slot. Now, it's kind of weird that they went with SDXC because there's faster express cards out now that give you 4 times the speed. But honestly, I'm just happy that they put the SD card slot back on the MacBook Pro. Just like every other Mac, you can open it up with one hand. And wow, look at that. Look at that. I love the all black keyboard. I think this looks so sleek. I can't wait to type on it. I gotta try this. It feels so good. Feels so clicky, just like the previous MacBook Pro. I don't think it's any different in terms of the way it feels. Let me get my MacBook Pro 13 out just to see the difference. Oh my God, this feels awesome. Let's see here. Yeah, Yeah, it's the same keyboard. Like I don't see that much of a difference. Maybe a little bit more tactile, but that just could be because I've been using my MacBook Pro 13 for a while and I've kind of broken in the keys, whereas these guys feel a bit stiffer. And it's so cool to actually see a function row on it. Like the touch bar is gone. It's no longer there. I never had a problem with the touch bar. I know some people despised it. Others loved it. I was kind of impartial as like it didn't bother me, but I think it makes more sense not to have it. It costs more to put it in and the value you get from it is not that good. And then you have a massive, oh my God, this touchpad is absolutely huge. But this display, holy smokes. I know I don't ever sound this excited in most of my videos. I try to stay neutral, but I can't help myself here. Like this is just amazing stuff. Like I don't think you guys understand, okay? To have a 16-inch display that's mini LED and to have this type of brightness, I've never witnessed on a laptop before. I've reviewed hundreds of laptops and the best displays I've seen have always been OLED. The problem with OLED on the laptops I've reviewed is they get crazy contrast ratios, they get good color accuracy, but they don't get as bright as this. Like this is 1000 nits with a 1600 nit peak brightness. If you're someone who's working in HDR or working with HDR content, this display is going to scream at you. Unfortunately, it's still a glossy display. That's something you just can't get away from. As you can see, it's picking up a lot of reflections from the surroundings, but man, you have to see this display. It just looks so good. The blacks are completely deep. It's bright. Like if you have the M1 iPad, for example, the 12.9 inch with the mini LED, then you're gonna feel right at home. Now the notch, let's just get this out of the way. I don't like the look of it. I don't, but I'm not gonna complain about it all day, okay? This display, I'll take any day with a notch than a different display with no notch. Now there is a 1080p webcam on top of it. It's much improved. Actually, you know what? Let's see how it looks. So this is what the webcam looks like. The fact that it's not completely blowing out that light and is doing a good job with my skin tones while smoothing my face a little bit, I think is exceptional. Definitely one of the better webcams on a laptop I've used. Also, this is the microphone coming from the MacBook Pro 16. You guys let me know how it sounds. So I just did a couple of tests and by God, this thing performs very well. The multi-core speeds are right in line with Intel's i7 11800H and AMD's Ryzen 7 5800H, all while doing it with significantly less power. The fans didn't even kick on when I was running the test, which is absolutely insane. The drive speeds inside of here are super duper fast. I'm getting around 5,000 to 5,800 read and write speeds, which is pretty much in line with what Gen 4 NVMe SSDs offer in PC land. So quick load times, quick copying, you're gonna enjoy this stuff. Just a quick mention about the notch. I know some people are curious how this works. You don't have to worry about it. Like none of your programs are gonna get stuck behind it because the menu bar always stays on top. So when you try to bring something up, it just stops right here. The only thing I can say is that your mouse kind of gets lost behind it when you bring it up here. And if you bring it to the left, it kind of sneaks out, and same with the right. Now, because these are brand new speakers, I definitely have to do a speaker test. Unfortunately, I don't have the old Intel MacBook Pro 16 here anymore, but I will compare them to the MacBook Pro 13. Honestly, the MacBook Pro 13 sounds awesome, but imagine the MacBook Pro 16 just sounding like a louder, more vibrant version of it. The last thing I should mention is the ProMotion display. It's 120 hertz and it feels so good. You know, like when you're scrolling around the menus and if you're playing any games, I don't know what games you're playing on a Mac, but there are some, you know, it's gonna feel much better to use and that I always enjoy. Like having a high refresh display on a laptop is like a priority for me these days. Honestly, I'm impressed. If you want to see a full review on this, it's going up at the exact same time as this unboxing on my main channel, and I'll get more in depth on what the GPU can do, because what I showed you in here was just benchmarks. And yes, they don't perform as well as the NVIDIA series in these tests, but those results may be different in the applications we're using. So head on over there if you're interested in seeing that. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.